I beat Minecraft's hardest escape room, the string theory escape room. This is a super challenging puzzle, requiring use of the game's most technical features in order to progress. The rules says it recommends that you view the cell in spectator mode first, so after taking some time to plan my escape, I clicked the button up here to begin. The first thing I did was come over here to break the painting, and when I did, it revealed a dispenser containing some potatoes and some string. I decided to cook the potatoes on the campfire and then check if I could craft anything, and I was able to craft some wool, but I didn't want to do this just yet in case I didn't need to and needed the string for something else. After this, I decided to collect some iron by killing the iron golems on the campfire. This took a very long time and was very loud, so I've sped the video up to 5 times and muted it so that you guys don't have to endure the same pain my ears did. At this point, there was nothing left for me to do in the room apart from break the dispenser, so that's what I did. And once I broke it, it revealed a hopper behind it. I decided to organise my inventory for a bit, and when I did, I realised that iron had unlocked a load more crafting recipes. After also breaking the hopper that was behind the dispenser, I saw there was a whole other room, so I knew I had to get in there. So I crafted the iron trapdoor, and then I realised I needed something to power it, so I also crafted the pressure plate. After placing them like this, I was able to walk into the trapdoor, it would put me in crawl mode, and I was able to crawl into the next room. At first glance, this room seemed quite insignificant, since the only thing I had was a campfire which I already had, and it was filled with cobwebs. However, upon closer inspection, the roof was made of wood, so I had to collect that wood since it would unlock so many more crafting recipes for me to be able to progress through the escape room. At this point, I realised it was a spider spawner above the wood, and the wood was giving me protection from the spiders, but since I wanted all the wood to craft with it, I decided to turn my string into wool so that I could block up the hole and give myself some protection from the spiders once I had all the wood. The first thing I crafted with the wood was a crafting table, because the only other useful thing I could make was sticks, and I had to have a crafting table to be able to do anything with them. As soon as I put the crafting table down, the first thing I did was make some sticks, but then I was unsure on what to do next. I knew I could either make a wooden pickaxe or an iron sword, or both, but I didn't know if I wanted to make the iron sword or not. But then I realised the prison couldn't be RNG based, so the prison has to be completable with 6 iron, and since I got an extra 2 in the first room, making an iron sword would not be the end of the world. I also decided to make the wooden pickaxe so that I could mine stone-based blocks and collect them. After this, I mined out all the hoppers, cobwebs, and deep slate in the room in hope of finding something else useful. After this, I climbed up to the top of the room so that I could farm some spiders for string, so that I could have more wool blocks to play about with. After killing all the spiders that were up there and lighting up the spawner with torches I crafted with some of the coal I got from the campfire, I collected all my blocks and then tried to leave, but then I realised I needed another trapdoor to get out and I must have missed something in the room. So after taking another look around, I realised I was right and there was a trapdoor hidden in this chute. However, this was a wooden trapdoor, so it would be super useful since I could collect it and use it to crawl into any 1 block wide gaps I wanted. Back in the first room, I pillared up on some wool blocks to try and see what was up in the hole in the roof. I lit it up with some torches because I could see there was at least a few spawners up there. After pillaring up into the room, I decided to continue moving upwards in the form of a staircase so that I could see what I had at the very top of the room. After reaching the top, I found some wood underneath every single one of these little overhangs, so I used my trapdoor to get in there, and I immediately began collecting the wood since I wanted as much as I could to craft with. After mining this block of wood, I actually noticed some signs on the wall saying, "Notice, water is required to go up and down the chute. Contact Skeeks if you are in need of a water bucket." I mined out the hoppers to see what it was talking about, and there was a chute that went down to the side that had a 1 block wide hallway. I knew because of the shape of it I wasn't able to use my trapdoor, so I did actually have to get a water bucket. After going back down, I knew what I had to do next, so I put down my crafting table and crafted a boat. The reason why I did this is because whenever I was in spectator mode, there was a hidden room in the corner here, as you can see, and the only way you can clip through the wall is by using a boat. Upon arriving in the new room, I found a fully armoured wither skeleton, and I tried to get away from it by jumping up here, but it was a 1.5 block jump, so I wasn't able to make it. so I had to use one of my blocks to get up, and this gave me a safe place that I could kill the wither skeleton from. While I was mining these iron bars, my wooden pickaxe broke, which gave me a perfect excuse to craft a stone pickaxe using the deep slate I'd acquired. I used a lever to open this trapdoor and had a look inside the barrel. When I looked, I saw some gunpowder and sand in the shape of TNT, implying I needed to craft some TNT. However, I didn't actually want to craft it yet, just in case this was the wrong move. When I mined the barrel, it had some deep slate behind it, so after mining that as well, I found another room with a spider spawner. I wasn't sure exactly how many spiders were in there, but I was hearing spider noises throughout the entire escape so far, so I thought it would be a lot. Moving further along the corridor, I found another iron trapdoor, and after going up, I found a zombie villager named Sean Skeeks. This was the person I had to get a water bucket off. So I was trying to think how I could get a water bucket off a zombie villager, and I realised if I cured him, I could put my barrel next to it to make him a fisherman and trade a cod bucket with him, which would allow me to get some water. Proceeding into the next room, there was loads of different things, different types of furnaces, brewing stands. In the chest, there was all the ingredients I needed to cure the zombie villager. I also found 6 raw iron in a furnace, so I assumed I had to find a way to smelt it. After thinking about it for quite some time, I eventually decided to use my signs as fuel in the furnace, since I didn't really see what else the signs would be useful for in the escape. While the iron was smelting, I also decided to smelt 3 of my sand so that I could craft glass bottles using the jukebox I got from the guard control room and a few sticks. After the glass had finished smelting, I crafted my glass bottles and filled them up using the water in the cauldron. Then I put them in the brewing stand and realised I had another issue. I had no blaze powder to actually make the potions. Nonetheless, I still crafted the fermented spider eye using some of my own spider eyes and some of the ingredients in the chest. Then I remembered, the zombie villager we saw earlier was holding an enchanted blaze rod, so if I could find a way to make him drop it without killing him, I would have everything I would need to cure him. After some thinking, I remembered that mobs drop the items in their hand if they find something on the floor that they consider to be better than it, so I decided to give that a shot, and I crafted a stone sword since I wasn't prepared to sacrifice my iron one. Re-entering the room with the zombie villager, I threw the stone sword on the floor and backed out, and I saw him pick it up. This was brilliant because now all I needed was a way to safely collect that blaze rod that he'd dropped on the floor. So after preparing myself for a quick escape, I quickly ran into the room, grabbed the blaze rod and went back out. I had it. I had the blaze rod. I broke it down into blaze powder and fueled the brewing stand with it, and immediately my potion began brewing. After we had the weakness potions, I added gunpowder to turn them into splash potions. After collecting my potions from the brewing stand, I cured the zombie villager using one of them and the golden apple from the chest. Now that I had a lot of time to kill while I was waiting for the zombie villager to cure, I decided to check out this other spider spawner room. After seeing how many spiders there were all clumped together in a single block, I decided I needed a stronger weapon than just my sword. Then I returned back to the room where I left the crafting table, and I crafted 3 of my iron into a bucket. This I would use to collect one of the lava sources on the floor, and this would be a much easier way to kill the spiders all clumped together. I decided the best way I could get inside the room was by using a boat. So, after putting down my crafting table and crafting a boat, I tried to place my boat right on the very corner, and it worked. So, after getting in and getting out, I was inside the room. The first thing I did was light up the spawner, because I didn't want to destroy it in case I needed more spiders, but I didn't want to have to deal with any more than completely necessary. After destroying a fair amount of cobwebs, I turned round and I had the zombie doctor achievement. This meant my zombie villager had cured, but I decided to get rid of all the spiders before I went and traded with him. After breaking my sword, I put down my boat again to try and get out and craft a new one, but then disaster struck. When I got out the boat, I was still on the same side, and I was stuck for how I was going to be able to get out. But then I remembered I still had my wooden trapdoor, so I was able to use that. Before I left the room for good, I wanted to check that I didn't miss anything, and lucky I did, because there was actually a piece of deep slate underneath the middle carpet. So, after mining it and 1v1ing a spider, I went down there and saw that it was a room filled with gold blocks and emerald blocks. So I returned back to my crafting table to craft my 3 remaining iron into an iron pickaxe so that I could mine it all. After I collected all the resources, I returned back to the villager and placed down my barrel to turn him into a fisherman. Then I looked at his trades and he was trading a bucket of cod for an emerald. I turned my emerald blocks into some emeralds so that I could take the trade, and I now had the water bucket I was going to need to escape. I ran all the way back and used the boat glitch again to clip through the diagonal wall, and then I used my water bucket to crawl under the one tall barrier. After finding the chute, I put my water there and crawled up. After mining this hopper, a hopper minecart fell on my head, indicating that this was a villager crop farm. After pillaring out, I saw this hole in the wall and I could see an iron golem through there. I decided to crawl through the hole in case I needed the iron for something, but then I found some signs saying all the exits were permanently sealed with bedrock. I checked the contents of these shulker boxes and most of them contained some emeralds. This was a clear indication to me that I was going to have to trade with a villager, but I had to think, what profession did I need? But then after a lot of thinking, it suddenly hit me. I returned all the way back down here and clipped through the wall again using a boat, and ran all the way back down to this room. I was going to have to collect this brewing stand. After returning right to the very top of the escape room, I came up here and I placed the brewing stand in front of this villager. He became a cleric, and now I had to begin trading to try and unlock the Ender Pearl trade. After a lot of trading, I finally leveled up my cleric to expert. And when he did, he was selling me ender pearls for 4 emeralds each. I bought as many as I could, obtaining 4 ender pearls, and now I had to find a way out. Then, I saw this iron trapdoor in the roof. I decided to mine it and see what I could see up there, and at this point I was fairly certain I knew exactly what I had to do. I climbed up to the top with water and placed some ladders where my feet were. Then I completed the ladder upwards and performed the pearl glitch to clip through the floor, and it worked. I was in a brand new room. My first immediate thought was to try and boat clip through the corner again, and after placing the boat right in the corner, it wouldn't let me clip through the corner, it just put me up like this. I was completely stuck on how I was going to escape after this. I switched my FOV to Quake Pro and went into F5 mode to confirm that there was actually a room on the other side of this, and as you can see there was, so I had to somehow find a way to get to the other side. Then I realised there was still one more possibility. Since I still had 3 more ender pearls, if I could find a way to ladder clip onto the roof, I would be able to get out that way. So, after laddering all the way up to the very top corner, I braced myself for damage and I threw the ender pearl, but I immediately began suffocating, so I threw another one and began mining with my pickaxe, and I was on top of the building. I'd stopped suffocating, I was out. Before escaping fully though, I had one more thing to do, so I dropped down here and I rung the bell. That is how I escaped the string theory escape room. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.